Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're tackling a massive, honestly pretty complex challenge that's currently shaking up Nigeria's real estate sector. When the traditional paths to buying a home just totally stop working for the average salary earner, well, the market has to adapt. So today, we're unpacking a highly strategic blueprint. We're going to explore exactly how corporate cooperative partnerships are stepping up to completely rewire how homes are built, financed, and finally delivered. But to really grasp the solution, we first have to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the problem. 15 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the current housing deficit in Nigeria, according to recent clarifications from the federal government. 15 million units. That is effectively the entire population of a small country completely locked out of secure long-term housing. We're not just talking about a slight shortage of fancy apartments here. We are talking about literally millions of everyday salary earners and families facing a massive, massive barrier.
So, you might be wondering, why is this deficit so high? Well, for a lot of Nigerians, the traditional open market has essentially just become a giant roadblock. It's defined by painfully high rents, construction costs that are just skyrocketing, and a really severe lack of affordable mortgage options. It's an endless cycle of instability. But here's where it gets interesting. The cooperative model offers a very clever structured bypass. By pooling resources through their employers, workers can actually access structured homeownership plans that completely avoid those chaotic hurdles of the open market. It's basically institutional relief for the everyday salary earner.
Section 1, the micro solution FCMB and Footy Homes in Ibadan. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it plays out in the real world. We need to look at a very specific, tangible solution. Take the recent multi-billion naira Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, between the FCMB Staff Cooperative and a private developer called Footy Homes and Properties. They aren't just building, a handful of houses. This project is bringing 250 four-bedroom duplexes to Navita Park and Gardens right along the fast-developing toll gate corridor in Ibadan, Oyo State. And this estate is being built primarily to give homeownership opportunities directly to the members of that FCMB Staff Cooperative. It's a massive, real-world application of the model. It takes that abstract idea of pooled resources and turns it into hundreds of physical, family homes. And the mechanics of this partnership, well, they're built entirely on accountability. It kicks off with a binding MOU and then moves straight into phased delivery, which means that accountability is constantly checked at every single stage. But honestly, step 3 is where the real genius incentive lies. The cooperative structured this deal so that Footy Homes actually earns priority consideration for the super lucrative post-completion facility management of the estate. But, and this is a big but, they only get that if they deliver the initial build with total transparency and to a genuinely high standard. It's just a brilliant way to ensure the developer stays absolutely committed to the long-term quality of the whole project. And you better believe that commitment is going to be tested fast. 18 months. 18 months from groundbreaking to full delivery is a wildly aggressive window in any market. But at the signing ceremony, the chairman of Footy Homes, Dr. Olamwiva Abdulaziz, publicly committed to hitting these phased milestones within this strict timeline, all while maintaining the absolute highest construction and engineering standards. It is a really high-momentum project, and it perfectly demonstrates how quickly strong institutional backing can move real estate development from just paperwork on a desk to reality on the ground. Section 2. The economic ripple effect, beyond bricks and mortar. So let's shift focus a bit, because this project isn't just about putting roofs over heads. It's actually a massive economic stimulus for Ibadan's tollgate corridor. Just look at the immediate human impact of the construction phase itself. To build 250 duplexes in just 18 months, you need a literal army of professionals. Engineers, architects, bricklayers, electricians, plumbers, the whole shebang. And then think about the supply chain. The project creates this immediate massive demand for locally sourced cement, steel, roofing sheets, floor tiles, and furniture. Why does this matter to the broader economy? Because it isn't just a housing initiative. It's an incredible job creation engine that is putting money directly into the pockets of the local workforce and local suppliers. And the best part? Those benefits don't just vanish when the hard hats pack up and go home. Once these 250 homes are fully occupied, you've got a brand new, thriving community, and that creates serious long-term socioeconomic benefits. The estate is going to need permanent management, security, landscaping, but beyond the gates, these new residents become steady, daily customers for all the surrounding businesses. It naturally incentivizes the development of nearby supermarkets, schools, and healthcare facilities. It's basically a textbook example of how targeted real estate development acts as a catalyst to strengthen the entire local economy. Section 3, the macro solution, scaling up to Lagos. Let's move over and see how this builds. Because Ibadan isn't a one-off experiment. No, it is part of a deliberate, strategic, national pattern that spans across both mid-tier and highly premium real estate markets. To see how this macro solution scales up, we have to look at Legos. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer financial muscle that corporate cooperatives can actually leverage. Here, we see FCMB acting as a key financier, providing a massive $40 million loan facility to the Total Energy's Staff Housing Cooperative. And this capital, it's funding their slice of the $150 million mixed-use Louisville Phase 1 development, located right in the prestigious Eko Atlantic City. It proves that this cooperative model isn't just for affordable housing. It can absolutely be scaled up to finance massive mega projects.
And the scale here, it shifts from mid-tier straight to incredibly luxurious. The Louisville project is a stunning 157-unit tower. We are talking about high-end 2- and 3-bedroom apartments, expansive 4-bedroom maisonettes, and ultra-luxurious 5-bedroom penthouses. It's a really powerful demonstration that when large corporate cooperatives organize their capital, they can successfully finance and execute large-scale premium real estate developments in literally some of the most exclusive zip codes in the entire country.
But this project stands out for way more than just its luxury. The Louisville development boasts 2 prestigious EDGE certifications. Now, if you aren't familiar, EDGE stands for Excellence in Design for Greater Efficiencies. It's an internationally recognized green building standard created by the International Finance Corporation. Basically, this means the building is explicitly designed to significantly reduce energy and water consumption. So it proves that these institutional developments aren't just economically viable. They are deeply environmentally forward-thinking. They're setting a whole new benchmark for sustainable living in Nigeria. To really ground all this data, Yemisi Adun, the managing director and CEO of FCMB, put it perfectly. She noted that this collaboration reflects the bank's strategic focus on real estate to enable job creation and community development. It's a bold statement, right? And it really humanizes the corporate strategy. It shows us that at the absolute highest executive levels, there's a clear understanding that deploying capital into real estate cooperatives is about so much more than just banking. It is fundamentally about enriching the communities they operate in. Section 4, the blueprint, future outlook. So, the crucial point is this. It's becoming entirely clear that these public-private cooperative models aren't just some neat alternative. They are the necessary practical blueprint for the country. If we are actually going to chip away at a national crisis of this magnitude, tackling the housing deficit requires serious structure. Institutional collaboration fundamentally spreads project risks, meaning developers aren't out there bearing the burden all alone. It leverages long-term financial planning, which protects workers from the crazy volatility of sudden market spikes. And ultimately, it promotes highly organized, sustainable urban development. This cooperative model provides the exact transparency and financial architecture needed to finally fix a genuinely broken housing landscape.
Which leaves us with this final, really pivotal question. Can corporate cooperatives truly close the 15 million unit gap? Now, obviously, the sheer size of that deficit means it's not going to happen overnight, but the successful delivery of projects in Ibadan and Lagos proves beyond a doubt that the blueprint works. If more institutions adopt this model of pooling resources and partnering with highly transparent developers, well, the path to widespread homeownership in Nigeria isn't just a pipe dream anymore. It is an achievable reality. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this gave you a clearer picture of the future of Nigerian real estate. See you next time.